Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Hang on, let's just get more light on the subject. There we go. Who's saying that painting lamps are just used for painting? Right, today, as the title will suggest, hopefully, we're going to be looking at some 28mm metal Perry Confederate Infantry. I've just painted these up over the last few months just for fun, just as a divergence really, as I do. And they're going to be stuck on a vignette of some description. Just a horde of. There's a reason for the reading bins going on in a minute. Hang on a second. I just want to show you some of the. Well, not. I'm only showing you one book, to be honest with you. This is the paintings of Mort Kunstler. I have to read that again. Get it right. This is a book that was a compendium to the actual Gettysburg, as it says there, a companion to the major motion picture Gettysburg. Well, I only ever saw it as in the UK as like a in fact I've got it, I had it on VHS and I've got it on DVD of the, broken down, if that makes sense. Yeah, it is a motion picture. I don't know, I'm waffling now. Anyway, I got this for about £3. Now, yeah, but yes, it is 1990. Bear with me, nothing like getting things sorted first. 1993, yes, so it's got some age to it, but £3.50. And the reason I got it was I'd got one of Mort Kunstler's, he was a Western artist, but then drifted more into he's now known more for his American Civil War, so it says in here. But I'd actually got his one of his Western books, because I like the art of the West. Literally going from the mountain men to the plains to the old West outlaws and stuff. But also I like just seeing paintings of buffalo and cattle drives and things like that. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I've got this mainly for uniforms, really, ideas. I know it might be an artist, but most of these artists have a fairly good handle on stuff. I'll just show a couple of pictures. I'm doing this purely in the interests of showing people what they could get if they would like to buy such a book themselves. There we go. We've got a picture of Bobby Lee there. Just to balance it up, as I am more of a Union man myself. We've got some Union horse teams there, moving artillery. But these, again, if you're into the American Civil War and you're into painting figures and uniforms, there's so much stuff that's out there that you can pick up for with all that we're suffering at the moment with fuel bills, energy bills and every other bill, these like £3, yeah, they often come in a plastic heat sealed bag, which really gets me, but £3, what else can you, and these are from like main second-hand book dealers type of thing. So yeah, if you're in the UK, these are out, there's several copies of these going around at the moment, all for £3, £4, £5 a pop. But they're great for uniform details. Then we come on to the bases of what I was going to try and put these on. I'm going to show you here in front of the camera here because I'm a bit tight on the workbench again. I mentioned in one of my Dio builds that probably never got built, anything to do with me, how I like to. We have a shop in the UK, a nationwide shop called The Range, and it sells anything from garden furniture to little tots, collage-y plastic, they make little pictures with all the string and the bits and pieces, which is very good actually for your scratch building and stuff if you want to go down and check those places out. But The Range does lots of things, it does mugs and tea mugs and you name it. And what they do a lot of like little chopping boards and things to put things on. But what they do is make brilliant display bases. because they're wood rather than MDF that's going to buckle. And this is like a little corner piece. And yeah, it's got a screw, you know, you could always fill it if you wanted to. There's a little screw, or it's actually got a screw in, I believe. No, it hasn't. It's just a piece. Yeah, it has there. But yeah, you know, these are about £3.50. And being a quarter like that, it's just something a bit different. You know, if you were going to put a diorama or just a vehicle on, you know, just have a small bit of terrain on it. Yes, that badger wouldn't fit on, but you know, good idea. And here's another one. I think I bought 2 or 3 of these. These were again about £3 a piece. I bought these a couple of years ago. I just haven't used them yet. They come with that heated printed doobry on, but even that, you know, it's a bit of, you know, you could use it just as a decoration on the side, or you could just go over the entire thing. You know, again, £3, solid wood, ain't gonna buckle on you. You know, it's already pre-varnished and things. So you know, if you're in the UK, go in the range and go down where they sell their, as I say, tea mugs and all that type of stuff. And if you hunt around, they've usually got a few of these different. So some, you know, like they want £10. Well, I'm going to pay £10 for that, but for £3, you know, they're worth it. It's just a bit too big for the 9 figures that I've got. I mean, it's a lot bigger, to be honest with you. So after all that, it kind of looks like he's going to use a piece of balsa wood on these, which we will show again in a second. But yeah, it was just I was looking for that balsa wood and I come across my stash of, which none of them have been used yet. So you could say, well, is it worth the £3 because none of them's been used? But one day, right? So let me just put that aside. Sorry for the creaky chair, guys. So in a second, Tea Slurpers Union. That's better. Yeah, let's go down to the bench and let's take a look at some 28mm Confederates. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. They're metal figures, and I say they're from Perry Miniatures, 28mm. What do I think of them? I keep saying it, the sculpting's nice, you know, they usually have a decent handle on, you know, movement and things like that. I'm really not a fan of the castings. That's just me. You all have your own opinion. I think the castings are fairly, if we go as far as saying rough, I'm not sure, but these didn't actually have, they're notorious for having lots of the little metal worms from the casting process on their figures. And these are, to be fair to them, I think these had about 1 on each figure, which for Perry metals that I've painted for before, that's nothing. It's just that they have, I don't know, it's the metal itself, and there's often fissures in the metal and things. Yeah, they're not the most expensive out there, and they you know, they still paint up well when they're sorted out, you know, but that you do, in my opinion, need more sorting out than I've had on other figures. But there'll be other people that'll say the opposite, so let's just be, you know, plays devil's advocate there. Right, painted in acrylics is always a mixture of AK 3rd generation and Vallejo. I've got more and more 3rd generation these days because I quite like those. Right, painted in metallics as well compared to my non-metallics. Officer, so I'm just going to get the light going on him. I've tried to go for some butternutty type, looking at lots of reenactors online, giving him a rubberized ground sheet. I have put a few photographs on at the end. Not overly heavy on photographs, just 1 each of each figure, and I hope that they've turned out okay. I've done a bit of grime on them without going over the top. I drew on the Austrian knots there. I don't know how good they really turned out in the end, but they weren't. Quite often Perry will mould stuff like that on, but these weren't moulded on, so I had to go painting them. I gave him a grey hat just so everything wouldn't be black and button up. Now this guy, he did have a say a deformed eye. That side of it was a bit, the casting was a bit all over the shop, so I turned it into an eye patch, just so I wouldn't have to try and keep working. I tried a couple of times. Perry faces are quite, the eye sockets are quite small, so if you are going to paint eyes in them, and you don't have to, I mean normally these are gaming pieces, you know, you just darken the eye area out with the darkest skin tone, that's good enough. You know, there's always the argument that when people put eyes in, it's more for photographs than anything. I don't particularly subscribe to that point of view, but you know, it's up to you. I prefer seeing a bit of white in there, even if on the tabletop you aren't going to really see it. But I've gone, probably, you'll notice theme in this, I've probably gone a bit overboard on the homespun flashy blankets, but it was just a bit, couldn't resist it really. I'm not very good at freehands, but yeah, I just thought they deserved it. So that's number 2. Number 3. Now what I'm hoping to do is, these are all on the right shoulder shift, I believe, and I am going to put them as if it's the classic pose really of bursting through a fence. You know, they've pushed either a snake rail fence down or whatever, but they've you know, it depends how much I can get on that piece of balsa wood. We'll put some blue foam on the top of that balsa, I'll show you in a minute. Got a Union backpack, I believe, rubber eye, you know, I call it rubber eyes, but you know, tarred or whatever I did with them. I've put, just more artistically, I mean they did look after the gear more than a lot of a show, but I've just gone a bit, I have done a couple of cartridge boxes that aren't so worn, but it's just a bit artistic really, I suppose. And again, I've tried to just show the classic Confederate. That's why I enjoy painting Confederates. I actually I actually prefer the Union, if that makes but the good thing with painting Confederates is you, as a painter, you get to paint lots of different stuff. That's our colour bearer, which I have shown before, I believe. Now this guy looks more like one of the Thompson twins out of Tintin, but I've given him a patched up Federal blanket. And so they're fairly well patched on a lot of them, just to show some difference and put different colours in the patches. That's our young drummer, keeping his head down. Again, I've just dusted up and mudded up the bottoms of the trousers a bit. I've just got 3 more to go. He's borrowed a pair of somebody's civilian trousers. Again, I've just shown some of the, you know, some with a more grey, if that makes sense, but most of them with a more of a butternutty type of look. And again, we've got some captured Federal trousers like the drummer on this fella. What's this, Gav? You've let this fella down. That's a fairly staid looking blanket you've got there. You must be feeling very jealous of the other boys with their bright stuff. So yeah, I mean, I haven't done anything. I actually made these. I've shown this one before, but it's just to get the idea across. I made this out of tin foil and wire, you know, just cut up and whatever. Now this is for my 2 Vietnam figures. Hopefully it'll look a bit better when it's painted different greens. But it was actually a test piece as well for these guys. I wasn't sure whether I was going to do some sweet corn, you know, that type of thing, growing around the fence line or whatever that haven't been picked, or I don't know. But I'm going on the idea. I'm going to try and make. It's too expensive to keep buying either the paper or the metal plants that you can get. Whether it's a 1 in 35 scale or this smaller 28mm scale, which corresponds with about 1 in 56. So I've been having a go at making just rough ones out of tin foil. It's not a particularly arduous task. It's more of an arduous task sticking them on and keeping them on. But yeah, so that was actually a test piece. Although it's going to be used for Vietnam, that was going to be a test piece for some of the base for these guys. This is the. Can we actually get back, Gav, or is that the best one? Oh no, we can. Right, I fished that out. I want these guys fairly closely packed together, so this might. I'm hoping to use this. I'm hoping it wouldn't warp, but it might be a case I have to use something a bit bigger if I've got anything a bit bigger. Those others are really more for the 1 in 35 scales or even 75mm and stuff like that. But I'm hoping to use this. We shall see. So guys, there's my Perry Miniatures 28mm Confederates. At some stage I will do some Union figures along the same line. Now, I didn't have a lot of money when I bought these. It's a strand that goes through Gav's life. I didn't have a lot of money when I bought these, and I could have probably done with maybe the odd one firing or the odd one casualties or a Union casualty or something, just to show a more warlike tale. But to be honest with you, you could go on forever and spend a fortune. And this, I won't keep this. I'll try and put it up for sale when it's done. And if it doesn't sell, which they sometimes don't, I'm left with an expensive piece of artwork. So yes, I call it artwork. So yeah. That's it really. So it will just be these 9 figures. As I say, we're hoping we might have a couple of bits of fencing on there, a couple of plants. I don't just want to just do my stuck down tufts. They'll be obviously in there as well, but I wanted to have it a bit more roughed up vegetation rather than just the standard tufts that are just stuck on. So guys, look after yourselves. We've got these guys coming up. Not these ones particularly, although they're probably done by the time I show you. But I've already got 6 done for the start of that commission. We're still working on 28mm. That's just a base coat on his flesh, but 28mm Vietnam, and it hasn't been any wet, dirt. I haven't dirtied any of that up yet. Obviously, because I haven't done the base at all. So we've got that. I may well have. I've definitely got to paint the 1 in 35. Last tank crewman, probably Thursday or Friday, and we've got so that'll be a video, and we've also got the Vietnam 1 in 9 scale or 1 in 10 scale bust, doing the pouch work on that at the moment, and the belt, so he might pop up sometime in the week. I'm doing some paint work on the, as I say, the interior was going to be today, but it's going to be tomorrow now. The interior on the egg plane, and I need to go over some other bits that I've stuffed up on the bike. But I would like to get the engine in the frame, please, and get that sorted enough that I can get ready to paint the green panels, and show you some progress on that as well, because it's all in a drawer, keeping the dust off, and I do have a play with it. It's just we're at that painting stage now, and as I say, there's so many bits to paint, and then I stuff it up and I repaint them, and it's just going around in circles a lot at the moment, so that'll get done soon. And that's about it. Yeah, so look after yourselves. Hope everything's going well with you, and we will catch each other very soon on another video.